Hello, it's Sue here. So how are you? Gosh, what a lot's gone on in the last month since I last spoke to you. Hope you're all right. Hope you're staying safe. I myself have been self-isolating for almost 2 weeks. Actually, the gardens, it's been lovely. The weather's been lovely, so I have been outside, sitting in the garden, making the most of that. But it is definitely a weird experience that we're all going through, the whole of the world. And as an astrologer, obviously, we have to look at it astrologically. And for the past 2 years, astrologers as a group have been looking at the current transits for January this year that's just gone, all through this year, and December and onwards. And we could see that something big was actually coming, because in January we had Saturn conjunct Pluto, and we were all waiting for that, because it's not something that happens, every year. It's over several hundred years. So that happened, and we knew that it was going to affect everybody globally, but we weren't sure what it was, and we wondered if it could be a nuclear war. That was discussed. It could also be something to do with the climate, or maybe eruptions of volcanoes, maybe, or but something that was going to affect us all. And obviously, the pandemic is what this is all about. So, are we being reset? Are we? I've got to look at the bigger picture, because I've got a very strong Jupiter, which is about philosophy and philosophizing. So I always look at the reasons that these things are happening, and we know that we've been destroying the planet, and actually, because we're at home self-isolating, the majority of us are working from home. We've heard that the planet is maybe resetting, and that the water is better and the air is better. So I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. I've no idea. I'm as confused as everybody else. But it is interesting that we have had this Pluto-Saturn transit, and Saturn rules the establishment. So it rules all the things that, like governors, like the government, and like the church, if you like, all those big kind of organizations that control us, because Saturn is about control and Pluto is about transformation. But always having a Pluto transit, which doesn't happen, as I say, very often, it usually takes away the stuff that's no longer necessary in our lives, and out of the ashes rises the phoenix, rises something new. So I think we need to be philosophical about it. And later on in the year, in December, we're going to have Jupiter conjunct Saturn. Now this happens every 20 years, and it is moving into a new element. So it's been in the earth element for 800 and odd years. And so it's going to be moving into air. It's going to be moving into Aquarius. So it's going to be very different. The energy is going to be very different. And obviously what's happening to us this year is going to make a difference. And we're going to maybe look at life in a different way, hopefully in a more holistic way, because Aquarius is humanitarian. Having said that, Aquarius is the rebel, and it is somebody who will go and kind of be the activist. So it might involve, it is about the group as well, so it might involve small groups activating, or being the activist, or rebelling in some way because they're not happy. And some of you know, I am in an anti-5G group, and that's a big concern to me, that we are going ahead with 5G, and as human beings, we're actually not used to it, and we're certainly not used to it being so close to our house. And we've never actually seen anything like 5G on the planet before, and all the scientists are saying that we are being foolhardy. You know, there's been no testing done. It's going to affect the earth, it's going to affect the ecosystem, and it's going to affect us ultimately. And so I think it is this Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that we're going to get in December is about maybe groups of people going out there and saying, look, you know, we have to do things differently. And that's my hope, really, that that is likely to happen. Now, if you do think about your own chart, we're all going to have that Jupiter and Saturn together somewhere in our charts. And in astrology, there are 12 houses, like 12 slices of cake, and each house represents an area of our life. So the first house is your personality, the 7th house is your relationships, the 10th house is your career, the 6th house is your house of health and work, etc. 4th house is home. So wherever this is in your chart, you're going to have some kind of change. Now, Jupiter is usually, you know, about opportunity. So it might be that we have opportunities to do things differently in those areas of our life. And it can mean a new beginning. So I'm looking at it as a positive. And also because I've got very strong Jupiter in my chart because it's in the 1st house, trining my Sun in the 9th house, which is the Sagittarius house, which is ruled by Jupiter. So I think that's probably why I do these videos, because I want to make people feel that there is a reason for something and we need to feel positive about it. So if you're at home feeling fed up and feeling down, don't think there is a bigger picture to this. There is a bigger reason. So I did do the messages, and that is connected to the messages what I've just said, but there are some keywords, and so the keywords are to do with waking people up, which is to do with this group thing, being humanitarian, which lots of people are being because they're helping people less fortunate. They are doing shopping for people, they're calling in, they're making sure people are all right. So that's kind of a key factor. And also raising awareness. So that is similar really to waking people up. So raising awareness to what is going on in your life and in the world around you, and raising awareness maybe about things that you feel aren't right, and maybe that can be connected to the 5G. And I do have a Facebook group working together to keep Bedford 5G free, so you might like to join that and comment and have a look at what we're sharing on there. And so what else? The other words were new start, having a new start, and also evolution, so moving on. So, you know, that's kind of goes with this Pluto transit, Pluto-Saturn transit, about, you know, moving on, and also a long-term path. So doing things differently in a better way, and living and being more holistic. Okay, so let's start with the transit. So the 30th, we've got Mars moving into Aquarius until the 13th of May. So it moves quite fast, Mars. And I've just talked about Aquarius, and Mars actually is the god of war. So Mars into Aquarius is the warrior, is the person who's going to stand up and be countered. And you might think, well, I can't do that because I'm in. But you can still do things, you know, in groups online. And so, you know, we have to think of how we can do this and how we can move forward with this Mars in Aquarius. So it gives the urge as well to discover new and unusual things to do, which is, you know, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because we're all wanting to do things, and I've joined some online choirs, for instance, because some of you know that I sing, so, you know, I can't give up my singing. This is also gives an eccentric approach to pursuing a goal, so doing things in a different way, you know, because Aquarius is eccentric and unusual. So on the 31st, we've got Mars again, conjunct Saturn. That could be irritating as you're stopped from moving forward, or that you can move mountains in certain areas of your life. So it can work in two different ways. And then the 1st of April, which is going to be Wednesday, you can work on new goals actually that you made back at the new moon, which was on the 24th of March, because we have a waxing moon on that night, and you can do that on the 1st and 2nd of April, you know, because that stays you know, not just on the 1st. The 2nd, we've got the moon moving into Leo, the sign of Leo, on Thursday till late Saturday evening. So this emotionally will make you want to be creative, maybe want to have fun, maybe have a virtual party, I don't know, but you know, make sure that you're having a nice time and doing something that you enjoy, even if you're in, you know, don't, you know, maybe watching some comedy on the TV, or, you know, on catch up or something. And then on Friday, Venus moves into Gemini until the 12th of May. And this is going to allow for multifaceted contacts and friendships, which maybe are through social networks like Facebook and Instagram. So it's a really good day for connecting, for having group chats, group choirs, group anything, really. And then on Saturday, on the 4th, we're going to have Mercury conjunct Neptune. Now, sorry, Neptune, you know, can lead us astray. Mercury is the planet of communication, and so it could be to do with miscommunication. It could involve emotions. Be aware of the release of misleading information, particularly in the media around the world. So we need to be very vigilant on the 4th of April, okay? Because we have that going on. We must make sure that what we hear is or see is the truth, which might be quite difficult if we're isolated. Well, we're all going to be isolated. It's not going to go away. So I'm telling you to watch that day and write it down. Okay, Sunday the 5th, Jupiter is going to conjunct Pluto. So, you know, I've talked about Pluto and Jupiter before. So our beliefs about our life may be tested, changed, or transformed. This may throw us all in a panic. So stay calm. So this is the day after what we might have heard that may be misleading us. So I feel like the weekend of the 4th and 5th, we really need to keep our feet firmly on the ground, and keep you know, talking, and keep hugging if you're in a relationship like I'm with my husband and we can't actually touch. Monday the 6th, calling all Aries people. So from July to December, Mars, which is your ruling planet, will be in Aries. Okay, so at some point the Mars is going to come and conjunct your Sun, depends on what date you're born, and this is going to start a 2-year cycle for you. This is just for Aries people, where you can move mountains, okay, because that's what Aries likes to do. They like a new project, they like to be on the go, they don't like to be told to stop. So let's look forward, Aries, to July. You are the first sign of the zodiac, and maybe we need all you Aries to get us all going again. And as I say, it's going to start this 2-year cycle. On Tuesday, that's going to be the 7th, Mars is going to be square Uranus. So Mars square Uranus could make us all very restless, from lack of progress, from frustration, from the unpredictability of life caused by world events. And, you know, it's important that, you know, we make sure that we have things to do. We've got some kind of timetable. And I know that's difficult, you know, because I think if you think you can't go anywhere, then you don't do anything. So it is important that we're not restless, and we maybe do some exercise. I think that would be a good way of using that energy. But also on that day, on Tuesday the 7th, we've got Mercury sextiling Pluto. Now, sextile is easy, so this is going to help us explore ways of moving forwards by using logic as a means to somehow transforming everything. Okay, so there's 2 things going on that day. Wednesday the 8th, we have a full moon in Libra. So this might be difficult because it may reveal corruption on a grand scale, events beyond our control maybe, and it could mean that we have to think about our life and death issues as things are revealed to us that actually, you know, stun us. So again, we need to be calm together. You know, it's difficult, but I imagine everybody I'm talking to is philosophical, because this is kind of a spiritual channel. I feel that we all may be looking at the bigger picture, and it's important that we're not in fear, because that will destroy our immune system, and we don't want our immune system destroyed. So we really need to look at the bigger picture, if indeed that is what happens on the 8th around the full moon. I don't know, I'm just saying. Friday the 10th at 9:30 in the evening, the moon will move into Sagittarius, and that will be there till midnight on Sunday. So that's 9:30 on Friday evening to midnight on Sunday. Okay, so it's basically 2 whole days and nights. So this gives an inner urge to search for the truth, to maybe learn, because, you know, it's all about learning. It's also about being good morally and spiritually, and there is a need really to make sense of things. And as it's you know, not far after the full moon, and the full moon will still be in operation, because we have the full moon really working for three days. You know, it's not just it's more active on the 8th, but the 9th and the 10th, it will still be, the 10th maybe it will be waning, it will be going. Okay, and then Saturday, this is the 11th, Venus will sextile Chiron. So this enables us to send healing to those who need it, and it's time to say really that I love you and I forgive you, really. If somebody's upset you, you know, life is too short. It's not worth it. And if somebody's upset you, it might be that it was something you had to learn karmically. And so look at the spiritual side of it and realise that we have got this sextile, which is easy. So send healing to people. If you can't do healing on them because they're not with you, you can also send distance healing. Particularly, obviously, if you're, you know, Reiki, you're involved with Reiki or any other kind of healing. Okay, and then Sunday, this is the 12th. This Mercury again is sextile Saturn. So this is a sextile, so it's going to bring rapid thinking and disciplined measures fast running negotiations, and they should work if the discussions are assertive, then things will move forward pretty quickly. So it's interesting, isn't it, that the transits kind of all seem to err towards what's going on around us, which I also find is fascinating and interesting. And I will be doing some online astrology chats with other astrologers over the next month to find out what we think astrologically is going on. So I will be back at the beginning of May to tell you really what I've found out, what we've discussed, and what we all think. And I think that might be quite interesting. I have got an affirmation for you to say every morning. I think it's really important that we do say this every morning till we come back. And the affirmation is, the planet is healing and we are healthy and happy. The planet is healing and we are healthy and happy. Right, well, you know where I am. I'm actually at home. I can't go anywhere. You can talk to me. Message me on Messenger. My Facebook page is Astrologer Sue Fletcher. And yeah, I mean, I'm here. You can talk to me. I'm not allowed out. I'm over 70. I'm actually going to be 75 in May. So it looks as though I'm going to be spending my birthday in isolation. So there you go. That's my 75th birthday. Wow, who'd have thought that a year ago? But there you go. That's how it is. Please stay safe. Please stay happy. Don't get down. Do as many things as you can online, maybe. And yeah, I've just to say that I am doing, or I am involved with Gareth Malone's choir, which is online every weekday at 5:30. And that's quite uplifting, and anybody can join. It's free. And so just Google Decca.com or Gareth Malone's online choir and it'll come up and you can register. I think there's over 15,000 people have registered for it. And me and John are doing it, and it's really good fun, and it keeps you upbeat, and that's what we need. So no sitting in the chair, no feeling morose, and look at the bigger picture of this. There has to be a bigger picture. And in a way, if something good comes out of this and we can move on and live more holistically and be kind, and there's no wars. I mean that's a big ask, I know. Anyway, we can't, we need to put it out there. We need to visualize for what we want. We need to visualize for a better life, a better planet, a better health, and doing 5G in a different way, not pushing cell towers up. And yeah, well, that, come and talk to me if you want to talk to me about any of that. One last thing. Do have a look at my Working Together to Keep Bedford 5G Free, because we've got a rap challenge on there for all children, all grown-ups, in whatever format that you feel like you want to do, and it will be up on that page in the middle of next week, hopefully, because we're designing posters and doing bits and bobs towards that. So have a good month, and I'll speak to you at the beginning of May. So bye for now. Bye bye.